Welcome to Toffee TV. Marco Silva has been sacked. He was sacked yesterday. I did a live show.
You did?
It was very good. It was right there. The dust is settled now. We know Duncan Ferguson's going to be in charge for the game against Chelsea. We've just watched his press conference. A weird day yesterday, wasn't it? Very, very weird day, the way the whole thing happened. I thought, early on in the morning, we'll find out he's been sacked and that'll be that. But, for it to not happen till like 7 o'clock, Mashiri being at Finch Farm, Bill being at Finch Farm, Marcel Brandt being at Finch Farm all day, it just seemed a weird setup.
Yeah, it was strange, wasn't it? Obviously, once the whistle went at Anfield, and he looked a beaten man anyway, didn't he? At Anfield, you could tell at Anfield he looked like he knew that was that. I think everybody was just waiting for that news, really, because enough is enough, I suppose, is the line, isn't it? We're just being trounced by Liverpool. It was always going to be a difficult game, but, the way it was. And you're waiting for that. It's weird when you sack a manager, because I don't, really like sacking managers, because you want a period of stability. You won't have to worry about the manager, but it was getting to the stage with Marco Silva, where there's every press conference, every after-match interview, they were asking him about his position. And once that and that's weird, because it's gone on all season almost, like the third or fourth game onwards, you're under pressure and all that. So when it comes to the other night and he's done, you then think, there'll be an announcement, and then you think, that'll be tomorrow, which was yesterday. And we come in here around midday, say, it'll probably be in a minute. And then it goes on there. But then you see everybody arriving at Finch Farm, Mashiri, Sasha Ryan, Sav, and all that kind of night. And then you're thinking, it won't be long then. And then obviously we were getting little snippets from people saying, no, we're still here and nothing's happened. And then it started being, will it happen? The players left, nothing had happened. Then there was rumours he was staying. And eventually...
Players apparently left believing that he would be in charge for the game against Chelsea, apparently. And then that may be where, I don't know, maybe that's where rumours came from.
But he hadn't been told he'd be in charge,
no,
had he?
But he hadn't been told.
But he hadn't been told he was getting sacked.
I just found that all very, very strange. Mashiri had a meeting with the players and apparently asked them if there was anything they needed, in terms of getting better.
But I wonder if, because I know he wasn't allowed in, was he? And Duncan wasn't in there, and the coaching staff. So I wonder if he did that, saying, what can we do for you? What's going wrong? I wonder if he did that, thinking a couple of players might go, well, the manager's not listening, or to try and get a little bit of clarity on it, or, he's doing what? Or this is happening, or that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And if they've not really fed anything back to him, because why would they really? Do you know what I mean? Unless like 8 or 9 of them. I wonder if he did it just thinking, well, if they might give me some information that I'm not privy to, he's not here, kind of thing. And maybe because they didn't, he might have just gone, okay then, like,
That worries me more. That the players, seeing the messages yesterday, today, the players still behind him. That slightly worries me more, because they certainly weren't behind them on the pitch.
But isn't that the thing, though? Isn't it the thing that they may just be so comfortable with the whole thing that they don't feel like he's done anything majorly wrong? If you look at, take Liverpool game out the equation, we haven't been whacked this season by anybody. So we've lost a lot of games by the odd goal. Yeah. So we've been in most games, and I suppose they might feel like, and he probably felt like, well, if it goes the other way, we'll win a lot of those games. It's not as if it was crystal clear under Koeman that they'd stop playing. It was crystal clear under Martinez, even more so, that they just threw the towel in. I don't think it was crystal clear. I just think there was muddied messages.
I think the other thing about it is as well, I don't think he'd give up on the job either. I think he was still working very, very hard to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish. He just didn't know how to do that. Yeah. He didn't know what the secret was. He tried something on Sunday and thought he'd try it again on Wednesday. The end result was the same. He got beat, but
two
very different performances. Where players, Leicester, they seemed a little bit more settled, but against Liverpool, they didn't know where they were coming or going. The back five, and maybe the players were, they enjoyed. At the end of the day, you've got to go to work 6 days a week, and you know that if the training becomes stale and becomes bored, and that's when players get bored. That's what essentially the Spurs did. Spurs players did with Pochettino. They just got bored, or didn't want to put up with the methods anymore because they actually weren't leading them anymore. But if his training sessions were good and they felt like they were becoming better players, and it was just marginal issues and the injuries, and maybe they understood a little bit more about the recruitment and who we missed out on and things like that. They probably had a lot of sympathy for him, you know, and I can understand that. And this is why I'm not sitting here going on this fella. And I haven't been like that at all. I've just been, for me, it's just been, I just don't think this fella's good enough. He's working hard. I think he's put everything into it. I really do. I'm not going to start telling tales and start...
No one should hate him.
No.
Nobody.
I just think that... And I don't think it's like one of those situations where people afterwards will come out going, yeah, he spends half of his time doing nothing or sunbathing, like, you know,
Mike Walker.
I think he tried hard. I just don't think he was good enough. And I've just done something for Premier League Productions there, and they showed the stat, and they showed his win rate for all 3 clubs. It's abysmal. Like, it really is poor. Do you know what I mean? And I, you know, he didn't spend that much time in Hull. He didn't spend that much time at Watford. I mean, who wants to do that? He's come to Everton with a lot of fanfare and a lot of hype and a lot of issues behind it, and that sort of, it became that thing for Evertonians that we always fall into that trap. It's of, someone says you can't have something, and as media, as Evertonians, we want it then. You tell me I can't have something, I want it. We're always like that as Everton. You don't want that player. You want that player. You can't have him. No, we want him, and we will fight until we get him. And we don't even care if we don't even want him, but we want him. If that makes sense. So a lot of hype surrounding him, but I don't know. He's never. I don't ever feel that Marco Silva looked comfortable at Everton, and that might just be his natural demeanour. And I've always said this. I just don't think he's ever looked comfortable being. He never looks like he's relaxed. He never looked like he enjoyed it. He never quite looked like he owned it. And I don't know whether that played a part in it. I really don't. And this season even more so with losing his assistant manager, which I don't know if people realise how important that is and how important it is having that confidence next year. But I think that's been a big thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, that fella's been with them. You know, João Pedro has been with him the whole way through as a manager. So for him not to be there and then things aren't going, you know, for him, he lost Zuma, he lost Garner, and he lost his right-hand man in the summer. Yeah. So we finished the season on a strong, you know, strong position. 8 clean sheets in the last 10 games, beating all the top 6, you know, draw them at Liverpool and stuff. Got to the end of the season, we were like, all right, well, maybe we've come through that. He knows what he wants. He knows how he wants us to play. And I think I said to you early on, it looks like the whole thing started again. Yeah. It's not continued. Yeah. And you said the other day, didn't you, the same thing? Now it looks like we've ripped every nut and started again. And that's because 3 big components of what were there at the end of the season aren't there now. Now, should he have... The thing with Everton, I seen Stan Collymore talking about Eddie Howe, right? Yesterday, I think, saying he would be eaten alive at Everton. Yeah. He's not big enough as a personality to manage Everton. He said Everton's a massive club, big history, and the fans. You've got to be able to front it. He said Eddie Howe's not big enough. He said he wasn't. That Marco Silva wasn't for him. Yeah. So he said Everton need a character. They need someone who will. You spoke about it with Moyes throwing the coat down and all that, and that's one thing that makes me think with Moyes. Well, at least if he didn't like something that the fans are doing, he doesn't have any issue.
Stood up to the fans.
That's what I mean. Allardyce did, but he done it all wrong. But he still did it. He still kind of went there, and you knew he was the manager. Do you know what I mean? Even though you didn't like it, you knew he was the manager. He was still doing all this to the fans because he's just a big horrible cat, isn't he? But he was strong enough as a person to stand up for that. He does it over there again. Did it early on, and he still does it. He still puffs his chest out. You're
absolutely right about personality, though, and I think that's where he missed the trick with bringing in an assistant.
Yeah,
he brought in someone that Evertonians already had a fundamental hatred of. Whether it cooled over time, it doesn't matter. We didn't like the fella.
No.
And it wasn't like a case of, we want Duncan to be assistant or anything like that. We just didn't like that fella, and I don't think he knew enough about him either, or had a relationship enough with him to make me that gelled straight away. for me, and it's easier to say this in hindsight, maybe the fact going to get an assistant and having that first year in charge, he could have established then and gone, you know what, I'm not necessarily the character these people want, but if I bring an assistant in, that is the character, that is the person who sometimes does press conferences or sometimes I'll let him in front of a microphone or whatever, someone who's a little bit of a barrier, and to be fair, the man who's going to be in charge tomorrow could have maybe filled that gap. Even if it was just a, dare I say, honorary position, just giving him a bit more responsibility. But I think someone a little bit more senior could have helped them a lot this season. Reflected on the first season and go, where have I gone wrong? What do I need to do? But I need to do this, this and this. But you know, some of those things aren't in my character in terms of away from coaching or in the dressing room, pulling players to a side, being the buffer. And I think that's where he got it wrong. He's a 42-year-old manager himself, and he was going for someone who had less experience. He should have gone for someone who had more experience that could just pull him to a side and just say, do you know what, I don't think you're doing it the right way. A proper confidence, which I think is what he
someone to challenge him. Yeah. Someone to actually challenge him and go, playing that wrong system. No, we're not playing that system. How about this? Because you've seen with the players that obviously he's a good coach. They like him as a coach. They like his methods, like you said. But then you've got the two. You've got match day. And unfortunately for him, match day is all that matters, evidently, in the end. Because that's what we see as fans. And that's what results determine. That's what your owners see. That's what your Farhad Moshiri sees. It's when you're sat in a stadium at home and you're a section of your home crowd are singing, you're getting sacked in the morning to your own manager. You're not surviving that because you've lost them. Unless you can go to Leicester and win 3-0 and go to Anfield and win 3-0. And then people go, hang on a sec, we were a bit harsh. Football is like that. It's all fine margins. And maybe if he would have been able to go and get Carlos Queiroz, for argument's sake, I know he's a manager of a country, but he's an experienced Portuguese manager who's done stuff at clubs. You know, Rennie Mullenstein, who's been Ferguson's number 2 and is brilliant coach, who would have gone, hang on, maybe he would have fared better this season. Maybe they would have sat down together in the summer and gone, I've watched a bit of what you've done. You've lost him, maybe we need this cat. And someone to really, who he might have respected. Whereas, I'm not saying he didn't respect Bowen Morty because of his pick, but he might have thought, I'm getting this young, hungry number 2, who's like the similar age, and we know this, but who's played in the Premier League. But you need someone who's going to go, you're doing this all wrong. And I think I seen Bowen Morty speak once, and that was when the day he signed. And he's gone quiet. And I know you don't want everyone in the background coming to the foreground, but he didn't seem to do anything. No. You know?
At the end of the day, his personality, I think, was the major problem.
No, I loved as a number 2, Sammy Lee. Yeah. Right? And I hated him as well at the same time. But he was up freaking hell. I loved him because he hated referees. Yeah. He was like that to the 4th official all the time. He was up, giving it fast clap. Didn't he? Loved the fast clap, didn't he? But Bob Morty just sat there like that on the bench and you're like, help him. Support him. We're under pressure. He stood there looking lonely on the side. Go and help him. Go and say, you know, and all that. And I just think, and you're right. I mean, his personality hasn't helped him and he can't help the way he is.
No.
But I've said it before and I'll say it again. The football club didn't help him. The football club should have took the pressure off him, but instead put it on him by keeping him away from everything, by not doing enough. There was you said it a lot of times, it didn't necessarily bother me too much, but there'll be a big number of Evertonians who it did bother that they didn't get to know him. So if you don't get to know someone, why are you gonna stick up for them, so to speak? Or it becomes, like you said, it becomes easy. If you've got no feelings for someone, it becomes easier to go, he's crap, he's not good. But if you get to know him a little bit and you go,
I feel a bit. I don't think it's just that though. I think, like I said just before, he never looked relaxed. He never looks relaxed anywhere. He never looks relaxed amongst Evertonians. You know, when we were in Switzerland and you were all running over to him and getting pictures with him, and he never looked relaxed. You know, your little crack of a smile as in I'm terrified here of all these people. Get me away from them. He just seems like someone who he wants to coach and he'll be all right in a certain environment. But like you said before, Everton's not that environment. We want someone who almost embodies the club as the manager, and you want that. I don't know. Maybe if he had bonded, and maybe if he had done a few interviews and stuff like that, which pretty much he wouldn't have wanted to do. That will have only come from one place, him. But if he'd done that, maybe he would have gone, oh, I've got these. I can relax. I can make a couple of these decisions because I know it's going to be all right.
Behind me, yeah.
And you know, I'm relaxed. You always felt like someone who was stopping on the way to somewhere else. Like, and I felt like that for a long time about him. Like, I remember going back to January and when we got beat by Millwall, and you know, you speak to a couple of people. He's the Everton manager for the short term, not the long term. And that's no way to be you're almost like living out of a suitcase then, aren't you? You know, and I never felt like he was ever going to be Everton's long-term manager.
But I haven't felt like that for the last few. Since Moyes went.
No, I know. And
I thought Martinez was only here to try and further his own career. Koeman definitely just wanted to put one foot here and step on us to get to the next thing.
I feel like, and again, it's not always down to us, it's down to the manager as well. But managers will always want to further their careers if they're you know, they're not at the very top, or you can try and take a team to the top, but some teams can only go so far. But I think if a manager puts it out there, like, you know, I mean, he did say a few times, he did say, I want to be here for the stadium and all that, but it never actually felt like he committed to that. Never actually felt like he was relaxed. See him in interviews, and he never opened up to fans. He never really did. Not say, listen, Koeman was like, put a brick wall up, and it was always like, what time have we got to be here to?
Yeah.
He wasn't like that. It just wasn't part of his personality.
Do you think? I mean,
I think though that's where the club let him down, because I think the club looked at him and gone, we can't wheel him out to this event. He looks dead uncomfortable. Instead of getting him comfortable, getting him meeting fans, getting him going up to fans and shaking their hand and going, how are you? Like, I would have loved to have had him in here, sat down for half an hour, just had a chat. Marco, what do you think about this? What do you think about what are you?
Well, we nearly did.
We nearly did.
But then we lost to Norwich. So.
We nearly did, but we lost to Norwich. And just be like, what do you think about this? What is your philosophy? You know, off camera, so that when you get him on camera, you can go. All the press, the written press, I've said, and I see Paddy Boylan mention it. Dead nice fella, away from the camera, dead nice fella, open. As soon as the camera comes on, like that. It's about breaking down that barrier. Even if Everton had done what they did under Martinez with us, where they got a load of the fan sites and stuff like that in a room with them and just had a chat with them. I remember we used to sit down with Martinez and used to have a chat with him for 20 minutes before we started, or afterwards, have a chat afterwards. I remember when we went to see him the second time, he just had the baby, so I took him a card, and then I said to him, "You do me a favour." I bought 2 cards. I bought one for him, and it was my missus's birthday.
Yeah.
And I went, do me a favour, can you just sign at the bottom of there your name? I'll put everything in. And he went, yeah. Oh yeah, have a great birthday, Sam, from Roberto. No, like, he didn't just scribble on it. Oh, what is it? And then I remember it was not long after we just started. And do us a favour, do a video for us. You're watching Toffee TV. And he went, yeah, no worries. And people were asking him for different things, and he got very comfortable. And I'd seen him a couple of times afterwards, and he knew my name. He was always very good at that. And it's just those, whether you like Martinez or not, it's just those little personal.
I like I said, as a manager, he wasn't great, but as a fella, he was absolutely fantastic. Lovely fella.
The point being is, I'm not saying Silva isn't that person.
No.
We never got to see that because the barrier was never broken down. When he come in at the map, first coming in, and we were at, oh Jesus Christ, where were we? Bury, yeah. We were at Bury. And a former media
that was the problem
of Everton. So we had press credentials, and really we should have been by right allowed to speak to them that night. But the person in charge was allowed all the couple of favourites, and then he brought them over to us and went, Marco, this is Ped and Baz, and he just went, hi, and then walked away instead of letting us have a conversation with him for 5 minutes.
Shook his
hand. And it was little things.
That all right for you?
It was like, yeah, it's that. No, it's not, mate. We're a media organisation. We need an interview with him.
90 seconds.
But it was little things like that where you're just like, he's the new manager. We can get across that he's a dead sound fella. I like this fella. I'm willing to give this fella time. Just had a chat with us. No, it was just like, and he was just like, getting pulled around. It wasn't nothing to do with him.
No. That's what I'm saying about the club. They need to learn from that mistake. Do you think? And this is meant in a, and you know, do you think, without being like prejudiced of foreign managers, do you think it's harder for us as Evertonians if it isn't an English manager? Not English, but like a Brit. Let me qualify by that. Just from the way they get the points across.
Is
But Martinez was very good at it.
I think him and Emery have suffered the same fate, and it's because Emery's English wasn't great, but he tried to come in and he tried to front it and try and speak English. Couldn't get across what he wanted to say, so therefore he never said what he wanted to say, and I think he's exactly the same. He could never ever get across what he wanted to say, right?
In the way he wanted to say it,
so he didn't say it. And therefore, everything he said was very formulaic.
Yeah.
So he couldn't articulate what he wanted to say. Whereas I bet if he went to Portugal and he had done a press conference, he'd be
totally different.
And he can crack jokes and he can say this and he can say that. He couldn't. Language, not the language as such. Listen, he could speak English perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's just having that conversation where you can get across what you...
Even getting your personality across. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Not what you're saying. I could say, Marco,
cultural
4-3-3, and he could tell me about 4-3-3 in English, but would he relax in the way that he would
cultural
in Portugal?
Differences. It's just that's what it comes down to. It comes down to, you know, Emery will go back to Spain and we'll sit down and you know, you've seen this already. I've seen interviews with Emery. I've seen interviews with him. I've seen Brands doing interviews in Dutch, where it's very relaxed, very open. They say what they want to say. They get it across, and there aren't any issues. It doesn't get
the all lost in translation.
It doesn't get twisted. It doesn't. And this is maybe again why this. And listen, we've said this from the start, and it's not a factor as such, but certain elements of the media in this country, the panellists and all that, Soccer Saturday, I've had that influence from day one since he joined Hull. The people like Paul Mason, who is this fella? What's he done? Why aren't we employing a British manager? He's done not much his track record. Then he comes to us, replacing one of their mates, Sam Allardyce. Then TalkSport have got it in for him every day. Sam Allardyce is sitting there and they're going, Sam, Everton lose again. And he's like, well, wouldn't have lost under me, would they? Or fans deserve this and deserve that. So he couldn't get away. The two major broadcasting people in this country, Sky for TV, TalkSport for the radio, you know, had it in for him straight away. So again, that didn't help.
Don't forget Allardyce addressed that when he took over. If you remember, in our second press conference as manager, they asked him about Marco Silva, because obviously Everton had gone for Silva and didn't get him, and he started laughing and went, "What's he ever won? What's he ever done?" You know, not my concern, but you know, I've had 30 years in England and all that, and so we had it in for him then. Then Silva replaced him, so we doubly had it in for him then, because he probably felt, rightly so, this fella's being lurking.
Allardyce was quite clever because he never actually ever put the knife in.
No.
He just set it up.
He just highlighted it.
To put the knife in. Yeah. And again, it's all these things that have combined. But listen, ultimately, the problem with him is his in-game management was horrendous. In-game management was really, really poor.
Do you think he understood?
Very reactive.
Do you think he understood? Understood might be the right word, but just how tough the Premier League is. And what I mean by that is, maybe in Portugal, he'd got time to bed the team down, and if you get a certain setup, most of the time you'll win games. You mightn't beat the top 3 or 4, but everyone else is dross in those leagues. If you've got a certain level, you can beat them all, and that buys you all that time to build and build and build. Whereas in England, I mean, you know, we've just seen Brighton go to Arsenal, beat them, Norwich come to Goodison and done us 2-0. There's no rest. There's no easy game. So when you're
just mentioned someone there at Brighton, Graham Potter. Listen, I'm not saying he's doing an amazing job.
No.
But you've got someone like Graham Potter there who's kicked into Brighton. They were horrendous last season, and yet he's gone there and give them. And I'm not. Listen, it could just be, you know, it could just be what it is right now. But he's changed the culture. And he's changed it quite quickly. We've seen Brendan Rodgers go into Leicester. We've even seen Steve Bruce go into Newcastle and change things faster than what he changed at Everton. I think that comes down to getting across on the training pitch on a match day what you want. The amount of times that Everton were due to make a sub, and you've got people on the sidelines as they're getting stiff, getting told all these messages, is, I'm not putting that down
and the opposition score.
And the opposition has scored, or the opposition had already scored. he was so reactionary, or he couldn't get his message over to the subs, or he wasn't allowing other people who could get that message across to the subs. You know, little things like that.
You see it, don't you, with some training ground managers where they set the team up perfectly, and if it goes to plan, it's great. And you go, brilliant that. But the minute the plan changes within a game, they just don't know how to react. And I think maybe that's what it was.
I think that's what it was. Everyone said he was a good coach, a great coach, and they loved him for it. Because you enjoy going to work every day. You're going to respect the person,
course,
and you're going to think you want. And that's where for us, that's what we're talking about. As fans, we don't have that. We never had that.
We don't have that luxury.
But players have that relationship because if every day they go into training and it's great and it's different every day and there's no boring monotony and they enjoy it. That's the fact, they enjoy it. They're going to keep giving them time or want them to have time because they're thinking, hang on, the next one might come in and he might be horrendous. He might have us doing doggies. But you know what? That's exactly what they might need to do. Because number one, the team don't look fit to me.
No.
They don't look fit. They're getting legged. Wednesday night they got legged all over the pitch. Now, number one, Liverpool are a better team.
But they shouldn't be able to outrun you.
But you shouldn't. For a team, the first thing you should be saying is no one should be legging you. Nobody. You should. And maybe that's again. Maybe it was too.
That's
nice.
what I'm saying. Too comfortable. So, I mean, in terms of what we need now, you know, he's gone. Obviously, Duncan's in charge for the game, and that's great. You know, Duncan Ferguson, manager of Everton. It's got a lovely ring to it, but we know that it's only 10.
But the thing about it is, no matter what anyone thinks, it's one game, and who else would you have given it to? There wasn't enough time to bring in a manager and say, you set the team up. He's literally had one day today. All he's going to do, he knows the plays he's going to do, go in and do the job for 24 hours.
He's got Franny Jeffers with him. He's got John Ebel and Alan Kelly, hasn't he, tomorrow?
So he's essentially just keeping...
He's just keeping it ticking over. He'll make a couple of changes himself to what he believes. But going forward, we need someone who can front everything up, don't we? We need a character. We need someone who the players are wary of, I think, because I think the problem with professional footballers is, I think you said it on one of the other things we've done, that if you give them, like the Dortmund thing, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And if you, unfortunately for us...
That's what Martinez's problem was.
He allowed them to make decisions.
Dale Faye apparently used to come in every day late to training, and he never got a grip on it. Then Koeman did get a grip on it, and you've seen how it fell away.
A lot got bombed.
You know, because of that. You know, he maybe was too...
But he was too abrasive,
maybe he was too far one way. You need someone in the middle. It's always difficult to find that. Again, unfortunately, those managers tend to go to the teams that are at the top of the league. They find that. They find that, like, you know, someone like I know maybe with Spurs, with Pochettino, it went too far, but that's just something early on that they said they loved. They wanted to be pushed. They wanted to be challenged. Who's willing? Who wants to?
But your top players don't need motivating to do it because they want to do it, and
that's what I'm saying.
But maybe it's just selling that.
You want to match. You have players at every club that'll look around and go, "Why are we being pushed?" It's the old, like, Roy Keane when they went to the World Cup for Ireland. Yeah. It's like, I have standards, and as a manager, the management aren't reaching my standards. So what is the point? And you'll get some players who are like, "This is sound," and that's what I'm saying with Pochettino. When he went to Tottenham, he said, "I'm gonna push all you," and some of them went, "That's what we want," because that's how it's going. We're not going to become better players if we're not pushed every day. I think Samuel Eto'o had that issue when he was under Martinez. He had certain standards, and he was seeing that those standards were miles below. And it's about. And listen, I'm not saying Everton have got those players. I'm really not. But who's to say someone like Dean isn't sitting there going, "I've come from Barcelona. Okay, I wasn't in the first team, but the standards were driving me on to be in the first team." And maybe last season when we seen the best of Dean, they were there, but this season they've dropped off. And he's dropped off because of it. Because it's almost like, well, I want to do the extra thing, I want to do the extra training, I want to do this and that. We're not getting that all the time. So that's the difficult part, though, because they're the best managers, and it's whether you can unearth one on the way up, which we've tried to do, to be fair, with Silva, or you can prize one away, and that's the difficult thing. We're getting linked with names at the moment: Pochettino, Ancelotti, Eddie Howe, obviously David Moyes is still in there, and
Rafa's a name, isn't it?
Pereira as well. which
Pereira, which I can't see.
Was the guy I wanted to replace Moyes.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah.
But I think enough time
that
passed.
ship sailed, doesn't it?
And I think he's been to enough clubs, but he's got a cracking agent in.
Oh, yes, yeah. But it just shows just very quickly that the likes of Brighton and if you can get organised in this division, just basic organisation, you can't. That's what Newcastle have got. All Bruce has done is organised them a bit. Going back to what Benitez had them a bit organised, and they're just picking points.
He said that, didn't he, Bruce? He said I've just gone back to what essentially I've probably had a chat with a couple of senior players and gone, what was he doing? He's doing this.
Well, he started the season looking like they were going down, and then he's gone back to being solid, and because they know that in general, it's all Sheffield United have done. So if Everton can do that,
Wolves are another one.
Yeah, but I'm saying if Everton could get organised and just have a way of playing, there's enough quality that they would win a lot of games.
Wolves are like that as well. They're very
Wolves
organised.
are functional.
That's where it starts. Leicester are very, very organised. How many goals?
Functional. They've only conceded 10 goals, haven't they?
They're a very hard working. They're a tight ship, and then they say to the players at the other end, "Grab us a goal," and they win the games. And that's what Liverpool, generally was based on that. It's gone a little bit looser now. Man City was the same. Don't concede goals. This season the problem has been the defence has gone, essentially, so they're conceding goals. But the basis should be...
Spurs, weren't they?
Yeah, don't concede goals and be organised, and we build from that. Problem with Everton, we always seem to do it the wrong way down. But we don't, because we haven't got a striker, so it's dead straight.
But there's enough goals in the team if you're organised. Win games 1-0 or win games 2-1. Don't try to get fours. And it's ironic because we don't even score that many, but we try to.
Don't lose games of football. We've said this for a couple of weeks. Don't lose games of football. Start picking up points, and it makes a massive difference. Sheffield United have won 4 games. Wolves have won 5 games, and yet you look at
Wolves are in Europe.
Yeah,
the European places. I mean, as well as being in Europe. It's not difficult to climb this league.
You just have to avoid losing games and add a win every 2 or 3 games, and you'll find yourself up there. But that's what we've got to do. Stop losing games. It does sound stupid, but that's what has been killing us. Is that there's been opportunities to just see games out. Leicester, Brighton, they're games we should have just
Norwich.
Norwich. We were completely terrible.
Yeah, we were terrible, but we should have been at least able to take a point at home to Norwich, shouldn't we?
There's games where you think, just get a point. Some of the away games, get a point. Don't lose today. But we don't. We just all over the place. Bournemouth away, just spectacularly just falls to bits in like 2 minutes. That's our problem. We need to just get that stability, and that's been our problem for like 4 years, getting the stability. But that's why, for me, it's only a certain type of manager.
So who's it going to be for you?
Who is it going to be?
Oh, no, who's it going to be? Sorry.
I've been consistent on
Benitez.
This for a couple
What about Moyes? Because Moyes keeps coming and going and coming and going.
Yeah. I'm not
overly against it.
I'm not against it. I can understand why people are against it. I am just generally as a person pragmatic. Yeah. Everton have worn me down to a point where that's the way I look at things when it comes to Everton. But I think pragmatism is not the worst thing we need at the moment, because I think the way the league's set up, a bit of pragmatism gets you a long way. And if you've got a little bit of class, which we claim to have, we'll nick games of football. And then you build on that. I keep on saying Everton, unlike Bramley Moore, is built on sand. So it's difficult to ever get anywhere. Martinez was built on sand because he had all the foundations. He decided to rip them up and replace them with jelly. Not even sand, like jelly, essentially.
Moyes was built on stone. But there was nothing to... You only got so far up the building, didn't you?
You got so far. Yeah. That's the point. You got so far.
Now, the irony is, now we've got the money to get to the next level.
The proof was in Lukaku. We had the diamond that went on the top. We had the star at the top of the Christmas tree. We had everything.
Well, we didn't have the branches
underneath. What we didn't have was any grounding. We had no foundations. So we could score 25 goals. It didn't get you anything.
Anywhere.
It didn't get you anything because we didn't have the base. And at the moment, we haven't got the base, the middle, or the top. We haven't got anything at the moment, because you've got to have confidence that you can win games of football or get through a game of football. And at the moment, we don't. We always look suspect. We always look like we're going to concede a goal. If we go behind, there's no way we're going to come back, because his record was atrocious.
But that's a reset now, isn't it?
Well, hopefully.
Well, it's got to be, hasn't it?
Yeah,
people have got to go, right, We've got Chelsea at home, new manager. If we go behind, we're still in it.
That's something that runs through the club. The people at the top have allowed that to happen though. So I can't honestly sit here and say, well, everything's going to be all right because he's gone.
No, you can't.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The people at the club have got to say, we've got to get this sorted. Stop messing about. Stop having him making all decisions that put us all in different pathways.
Get on the same.
Get on one pathway. Say what's going to happen from now on, and decide. And it's going to be the person at the top makes the final say and signs the check. But the fella who actually makes the decision is Marcel Brands or whatever. And then the person below him is the manager. And it's a straight, because at the moment it's not straight. At the moment it goes, oh, one day it might go that way and one day it might go that way. Because someone wants this and someone wants that and someone's got the ear of someone else. No, it can only go up in a straight line. There's got to be a chain of command. And really Marcel Brands should be the man who makes the decisions and Michele signs off on
Well, apparently he is driving the bus, so whoever comes in there'll be none of this. Well, Brands didn't want him, but Ken Knight did, or Brands didn't want him, but Michele did. It'll be with Brands' thing. So whoever comes in, we know that Brands is behind him as well. So,
but then Brands has got to start doing his job and he's got to start getting the players in.
Yeah.
He was culpable for not getting a centre back in. And okay, the Gabamon thing was unfortunate, but you know,
what's frustrating is the Gabamon, if they could have got the Corey deal over the line and he wanted to come, if they could have got him, it would. No, but what it would have done was still give us that midfield.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in January as well. They've said permanent manager. Now, listen, I had someone yesterday when we did the show. Permanent manager could mean just someone to the end of the season, but they're the permanent manager.
Allardyce was a permanent manager. We called him an interim, but he was a permanent manager.
Not interim, because if they sign a contract and they're Everton manager, they're Everton manager. Duncan Ferguson's a caretaker or interim because he's here for 1 year. He's got there's no determined length for when he's going to be in charge. It's just got to be, I'm glad that they're taking a couple of days, but it can't go past the Man United. It can't go past the Man United game. It can't.
Unless he beats Chelsea and beats United. And then they're like,
no, but what I mean,
let's just see how he gets on against Arsenal.
No, we can't have that.
No, there's got to be a plan.
If Duncan Ferguson was ever to be the manager of Everton football permanently, it has to be on absolutes. Not on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer school of management appointments. It has to be on absolutes.
Yeah, of course. You have to be convinced that he's the right man. If he's the right man, fine, name him. If he's not, get who you want. But what it'll do is it buys us a few extra days to work it out, doesn't it? So
let us know who you want. Were you happy that he got sacked? Do you feel sad for him? That picture on social media last night, my heart. And then thought, Anfield, not asked. No, I did feel a little bit sorry for him, but he didn't deserve to be the Everton manager.
It's done, isn't it?
It's done. Let us know who you think should be the next Everton manager. It doesn't matter whether you think it should be Pochettino or you think it should be Eddie Howe. Let us know in the comments. I mean, it should never be Eddie Howe. Let's get it right.
1 win in 10.
No, well, it's not even that. He would, like you said before, he would be eaten alive by Everton.
But even just very quickly, just his record: 9th, 12th, 14th. So he's decreasing.
Same thing again, though. Same kind of manager. So
Wigan, Southampton, Watford. We don't
let us
want
know
Bournemouth.
your thoughts in the comments. Who do you want? And do you think Everton have handled this the right way? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell for alerts so you know exactly when the next Everton manager is getting sacked. And
also check out the Duncan Ferguson interview if you haven't, even the coaching bit, because he is the manager.
The coaching bit is you'll find out what he's all about. Make sure you check that out. And if you haven't joined us on Patreon, if you want more videos, join us over there.
Why wouldn't you?
All the links are in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.